What's up guys, this is LateCom here. We're back with yet another brand new Trove video on the channel, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the top 4 fastest ways to farm Flux as a beginner player. But before we begin, I just really want to clarify that these methods are going to be the quickest ways to obtain a decent amount of Flux, and it is not going to be a consistent method to rely on if you'd want to get rich in Trove. If you'd like to see more in-depth guides on our Flux farming methods for mid-game players, feel free to check out the links down in the descriptions below or check out the card located at the top right-hand corner of your screen right now. With that out of the way, let's begin. So coming in the 4th spot, we have got none other than Outpost Quest farming for newer players. Now, as you can see right here, there are going to be different quests in every spawn of every biome. So let's say you head on over into Permafrost World, or Cursed Vale World, or Desert Frontier World. There are going to be different quests for each of these different biomes that you're going to be heading on into. And when you actually complete this little quest right here, in which is going to ask us to fight a T-Rex, and if we complete it, we're going to actually get 75 Adventuring, but on the side of that, you will actually be able to get a chance at obtaining a juicy locked Adventuring Strongbox, in which these locked Adventuring Strongboxes will be worth at least 10,000 Flux or so, which is definitely a decent bit of Flux to begin with as a newer player, and is definitely something that, you should be making the most use of every single day. Just really take note that these Outpost Quests, or these types of Outpost Quests, can only be completed once per day. So make sure you actually do them daily and make sure you make the most out of them. So there we go, that's going to be our first quest done. But sadly, there was not any strongbox that we were actually able to obtain. So let's move on to the next biome, in which we can now enter and complete the next quest. You might be wondering, how much power rank do you actually need to get the chance of completing all of these different quests? Well, in reality, I think it's not going to be much. If we were to head on over into the map right here, if we were to head on over into Forbidden Spires, that's going to be a maximum of 1,200 PR. Right here, that's going to be 2,500. This one's going to be 550. But each of these different biomes will actually give you a different quest. So I guess it's pretty much safe to say that you're going to need 2,500 power rank to actually be eligible to complete each and every one of these quests, as long as you can actually enter the world or just find one of its biomes inside the world itself. You're gonna actually be able to get the quest done. So let's say if I was head on over into the Candoria side and actually find one of those Candoria spawn places and then get that Outpost quest, then you can actually get that Outpost quest done. But it's gonna be a really noob friendly method for everyone to actually complete, to get some Adventuring, because Adventuring is gonna be really important when it comes to getting all of the items inside the club merchant bench, which will include stuff like even dragons. It's going to give you mounts, and it's going to give you allies as well, and a couple of auras that you can actually use for a decent bit of mastery as well. So with that in mind though, another thing that Outpost Quests actually give you at the same time when you're actually farming for Flux is that you can actually gain experience on the classes that you don't already have max. So let me just say I have 9 Bleach Bones collected, right? So I'm going to switch onto a weak class like my Ice Age right here. And then I'm going to find for one more Bleach Bone, and then I'm going to just kill it, and boom, just level up on my alternate class that I'm not pretty much ever going to use. So there we go, we've got the second quest done. I'm actually leveling up my class. At the same time, I'm going to get a chance at obtaining strongboxes. Now, let's take a look at how much strongboxes are going to be costing, right? So strongbox, it's going to cost you, that's going to be a cheap strongbox. Let me just grab that, and let me just go on ahead and list this little strongbox for 9,750. Now, another thing that's going to be good is market flipping, but that's not going to be in this video right now. We're going to be talking about that in the mid-game Flux farming section. So make sure you actually check that out down in the links in the descriptions below. So coming up next, we have got none other than one of the most famous Flux farming methods for newer players. It's going to be none other than Nitro Farming. Well, the thing about Nitro Farming is that you're going to actually require 5,000 power rank in order to get this started, or at least enter Uber 8 topside in order to start farming for Nitro. But the best way, or the best days for you to actually farm Nitro, is going to be on none other than Gathering Days, since your drops are going to be increased by a 50%. And if you're using a Nitro Chaser banner, that's going to amplify the amounts that you'd be dropping as well. So make sure you actually get that banner and make sure you actually farm this on Gathering Day. Well, you can also farm Nitro on off days other than Gathering Day, although they don't make you as much as farming on Gathering Day or with a Nitro train though. It's going to be a really decent Flux farming method, at least for a newer player who's at 5,000 power rank, because there aren't really much other Flux farming methods that you could pretty much make the most of at this point of power rank range. So even getting something like 100,000 Flux an hour would be at least a really good amount for newer players such as yourselves if you continue on watching this video. And of course, the way that you actually get your Flux is by selling these Nitros in the market. The reason why people actually buy these Nitros, or the reason why they are so high or in high demand, is because you're gonna need them to upgrade crystal gear. So with every single person that actually needs to upgrade crystal gears, most of them pretty much don't actually have the time to farm Nitro, in which is going to be where we're going to capitalize on that and actually use our time to farm for these Nitro and actually sell them in a market for a decent bit, for at least a decent bit of Flux. Alrighty, so now that I've got 50 Nitro, I think I should just go on ahead and list this 50 Nitro inside the market. But how much should I actually list it at? It's going to be currently at 79 Flux. But if we're gonna switch on over onto Nitro, we're gonna see that, okay, it's gonna be in crazy stacks. So if someone would want to buy one of these Nitro amounts, I think I should be listing it at 80, because the next one's gonna be at 81 for 100 pieces. So we're gonna go ahead and list this Nitro Glitterine for a juicy 80 Flux each. So in that little span of time, we managed to obtain 4,000 Flux, which I think is a decent bid for a newer player. Alrighty, so coming in next in the second spot is going to be none other than farming Neon City Recipe Dungeons. Also, the locked Adventuring Strongbox just sold, so I actually made 4,750 Flux profit from that. So if you see any of those Strongboxes for cheap, just buy them, because people are gonna actually buy them at like 10,000 Flux or so. At least on the PC side, people actually do. So if they're actually any cheaper than 10,000 Flux, just grab them and relist them in the market. But anyways, that's gonna be for another video about market flipping. Let's now talk about Neon City Recipe Dungeon farming and the reason why they are actually so profitable and are one of the best methods for newer players to actually make Flux. So the thing about Neon City Recipe Dungeons is that you're gonna get a guaranteed drop of the Neon City Recipe Cache, or Neon City Scrap Case, excuse me for that. And with that Neon City Scrap Case comes a Neon City Recipe, in which, let me just complete this dungeon real quick just to show you what you actually get them out of. So you've got a Neon City Scrap Case and you've got one Neon Recipe. So let's take a look at how much one of these Neon City Scrap Cases actually costs, in which one of these would cost about 1,300 Flux. And let's say if I were to just open these though, we're just going to open these, 1 Plasmium Flux. There we go, 1,000 juicy Flux and 35 robotic salvage. The robotic salvage can actually be sold for a decent bit, so let me say I'm gonna list this at, okay, 76. So boom, from that robotic salvage that I just obtained, I could just list it. Okay, I'm gonna lowball a little bit. I'm gonna go 75, and then someone's probably gonna buy it. So each dungeon I actually complete, I'm gonna be getting about 1,500 to 2,000 Flux, depending on the drops that I'd be getting from opening these boxes. And the point where I'd probably suggest you guys to actually start selling your Neon City Scrap Cases instead of opening them would be at about 1,700 Flux per box. If they're at that price, just go ahead and sell them. And of course, the Neon Recipes can be sold for a decent bit of Flux as well, but you can pretty much just use them in order to get a decent bit of mastery, which is always really helpful for newer players. Alrighty, coming in at the number 1 spot is gonna be none other than Dell Farming. Well, why Dell Farming, you might ask? Well, as you can see right here, I have got a queue for a depth of 26, in which is going to be the depth that you really want to open your portals at, because this is going to be the start of where the shadowy vaults will spawn. They're going to be spawning at depths of 25 and above. So what you want to do is get a private portal and just plop it down and enter it in solo 18 depths, for a total of 117 Titan Souls. If I'm not mistaken, that should have been the amount. In which is going to be really relatively easy. As you can see, the difficulty level is going to literally be elite. Now, what you actually do with those Titan Souls is you craft those Titan treasures inside the shadowy soul market, I think is what it's called. One thing that's pretty good about delves is the fact that you can actually farm it with friends. So you don't actually have to solo it on your own. You can just join the delve chat, in which is just /join delve in order to enter the chat. And if you'd like to farm for your weekly loot, I mean the lunar souls, the titan souls, and the dispelled divinities, then obviously farming with a group would be way more efficient, but you can also do this by your own, since the difficulty level at level 25 depth wouldn't really be that hard. I mean, elite difficulty, what's that? That's probably like less than Uber 1, right? Alrighty, so now that we've got this delve right here, it's gonna be our third depth that I'm gonna be completing. So there we go, I'm gonna kill this boss right here. Boom, there we go. So we're gonna open up this little heavy pressurized chest. Also the nitro sold, so that's a juicy, decent bit of flux. And now I'm gonna open this shadowy soul vault with a delve shadow key. So we're gonna open this, and as you can see, once I actually open this, I've received 19 titan souls, 3 lunar souls, and 1 dispelled divinity. Now you can actually craft these delve shadow keys inside the shadow key mold, which can be found inside the shadow tower entrance portal right here for like 40 fragments. So you're gonna have to get 6 of these to actually get the full rewards each week. And let me just go on ahead into the shadow tower entrance portal to show you guys how much flux you'd be getting from using these titan souls that you've got right here from this delve run. Alrighty, so with that out of the way, we're gonna head on over, of course, right here we've got the all-purpose key mold, which we can actually craft the delve keys right here. Then we've got the shadowy market, in which the titan souls can be crafted into titan's treasures. Now you don't want to craft shadow caches because titan treasures are going to be way more valuable than those ones. So let's go and craft 6 of these. And you can actually sell these in the markets, or you can actually open them yourselves, but selling them will be at about 2.9k flux. I recommend you guys sell them at about 3,000 flux if the price is at 3,000. If not, just open them, because opening them will directly give you flux. There we go. So just open them, and I actually got about 30,000 flux, or actually 26,000 flux from opening those 6 boxes, guys. So that's gonna be the best so far method for you guys to actually get quick flux in Trove. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned a thing or two, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next couple of videos. As usual, peace out.